August 20th, 2020, Wednesday afternoon. Space is held 24/7 now, and we are discussing every nuance in Bitcoin, in the history of Bitcoin. So why am I doing this? Because there's plenty of shows here. There's plenty of news feeds. Well, I tell you what, the reason I do this is I just hit the record button. And I said, hey, I'm gonna just at least record. Why did I buy MicroStrategy just now at 340? I put an offer in to buy a bid to buy at 340. We'll see if we get hit. I'm not going to chase it. I suspect I can get it maybe even after hours, which it is now. And we're trading at 344.37. In fact, let me pull this up right here. Bing, bang, bang, bang. Let me do this. Hope everyone's doing well today and all week. In fact, I would like you to think about, who did you actually help this week? Were you especially nice to anyone? Maybe overtip someone or give them a compliment. These little games I play, we will have different games, but right now, I really want to hear from the audience how well reaching out and helping someone and doing it anonymously really, really is an unbelievable hack. In fact, imagine if your boss started every morning with, hey, let's go out and help somebody today, right? Like if we all really had that ethos of do good. All right, now what am I doing? I am doing this. I am finding out my cost base from my prior MicroStrategy trade, which I think probably goes back. I'm going to get 16 months now. No, 8. That'd be close to 2 years. 18 months, 2 years. Dog for. Man, these banks, they really do not have sexy dashboards. Fact check, true. Okay, let's see. I've got 2,500. So I added about 30% to my position. And last price was 345. My purchase on the first was, gosh, Gary, why can't you figure it out? Total cost was 720, 25,000. So what is that? 50? No, that's it's about 325. 325. I'm up right now on that position. I'm up 20%. See, it's not been a great trade. Okay. It just has not been that great of a trade. Yeah, here are the dates. Thought the dates were there. December 9th. Dude, 18 months. I do this, and then I bought some in November of 2024. So going on full year now. Oh, only a year. Only a year, dude. I'm up. So I've got some. That's interesting. Average price at 366 and an average price at 235. I've got 1,000 shares at 366. So I'm going to add another 700 here at 340. I see. I like this trade, man. At least I'm consistent to trading between 235 and 260. Look, this is my theory on this thing. careful what I show here. That'd be embarrassing. Excuse me. Happiness is a warm gun. Bang, bang. Whoa. Whoa. Is that today? Wolf up 6%. 65 million shares. Cypher's up 3%. Clean Spark 1.3. Man, Clean Spark. I own a lot of Clean Spark. I mean, you guys need some help, call me. Cypher 3.3, or better yet, call Fred. What's the guy's name? Wolf 5.69%. Iron 5.5. CoreWeave down 1.4. All the interest rates are down. You know, nobody's talking about the rates now. They're coming down like a freaking lead balloon. Circle's up 2%. Coinbase is up 0.7. BNMR, Tom Lee's business. Tom, congrats, man. 5206 up 4.5%. I still would like to have a conversation or a bottle of whiskey with you, bro. On or off the record, I don't care. I just think you're an awesome human being. Well, that's what I think. No, I could be wrong. But I don't think I am. You know, and let me just remind you, Bitcoin, with those prices, Bitcoin is up 1.1%, 114, and it was down. Oh, wow. Why am I not showing this to you guys? I'm really being really rude. You know, I'm starting to get comfortable enough with the camera now that I forget it's here. Share screen. There we go. Let's share this. Bango, bingo. You guys like it when I have little screens up? I mean, do you like it? I would like to know if you guys like this kind of stuff. You notice I have not been doing a lot of this, and I just find the space is really full with a lot of information, and you know, some of it is awesome. And they're just going into such great detail that for me to, you know, try to even replicate what they're saying, and they're doing it in such a precise way. One thing I don't want to ever do is become boring. 114, 102. Okay. Now, who is complaining about Bitcoin here? And you're going to go, well, Gary, why didn't you just buy the ETF, or why didn't you buy something besides MicroStrategy? Well, one, I actually support Michael Saylor. I actually support Fong Lee, the whole management team. Do I think they're going to do everything perfect and never make a mistake? They were on the world stage running a public company, and I think with the level of transparency and, shall we say, Monday morning quarterbacking and massive amount of negative scrutiny, the amount of analogies that are used regarding this, clearly this play of the century. So you can't sit here and go, hey, look, this could be the play of the century, and then move into a frame of reference of, hey, he's doing the wrong thing. Okay, first off, look, he's a public CEO. I think people should challenge him. This will terrify, if I can ever get to my damn chart, this will terrify other CEOs, okay? This kind of scrutiny, most CEOs are not good at this at all. In fact, then if they become good at it, it's because they're managing chaos, and they're into, you know, what's it called? Chaos management or whatever. And, you know, when they have a problem, and you can't run the business that way all the time. So I got a 4-hour chart up. I want to go to in fact, you know what? Let's just leave the 4-hour chart up. That might be a good little exercise. It's not going to help explain what I did or why I'm doing it right now. And hey, listen, I could be wrong on this, guy. I'm probably being a little too glib about it. You see this right here? Okay, this is our top. And that top happened July 25. July of 25. We're in August. Okay, 450. Is this right? Yes. Now I bought this stock. I think it said in 24. Oh no, I'm wrong about that. Let's get this chart back up. My 4 hour. What am I doing on a bloody 4 hour chart? All right. What do we have here? Okay, we have back to January 25. I bought MicroStrategy right in here. Okay, didn't we just say that? November. I bought some in November. Bingo, right in here. Probably right here. That would be me. I never buy the lows. I don't, I can't claim that I have, unless I was in a business and I was running a market, I don't have the capability like you guys to pick these lows right here. I don't have the juice. Okay. And what I find myself doing is so confused in this area that I can't act. Right. So I can't really act with confidence. When I say act, I'm not talking about putting $50 in. Okay. And I would really encourage everyone to look at this as a serious game. If you're smashing $50 on a meme coin, can you afford to lose it? I would just beg you to ask yourself this. Or anything, Bitcoin, you can buy $50 worth of Bitcoin on MicroStrategy. Can you afford to lose that $50? Because if you can, see, I don't think you should really be investing. That's not investment. You're just gamble. Because I don't think you're going to really care if you lose it. So I would up that bet. See, I would save enough $50 bets that I would have to make a $500 bet or a $5,000 bet or a $1,000 bet where you get to the point and go, whoa, I am not just going to airy-fairy make a decision about doing $250,000. See, I'm going to do $250,000 here. Why am I telling you this? Because people that have a lot of zeros are not going to do $50 bets or $50,000 bets. Plus, 250 as a minimum makes me, most private dealers, that's about the minimum. But more importantly, when I smashed 250 grand as a minimum into the first trade, I better have some conviction, right? Because if I lose 20% of that, that's hard to make up. I lost 50 G's. Okay. So this is my thinking, and happy to hear your own video comments as to how I'm wrong. I've been watching this cat since way, way back here. Was not wise enough to jump on the journey. I'm so scared of legacy paper, dude. Now, having said that, I have been ultra conservative. I haven't had a position in any of the U.S. stock markets or foreign markets in many, 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 many years. And I've missed a big move. I missed the whole move from 2002 to current date because I was building businesses. Didn't have any excess cash to smash into the NASDAQ, the S&P. And by the way, I probably spent too much time and energy building those businesses, got too little equity out for what I could have done had I just been passive investor. This most certainly is one of those events, in my opinion, where you can be a passive investor and not get worried as long as you have a time frame that looks like this. Okay, this is what I do. If you can go out 1 week, okay, 1 week, and say over the next 560 days, okay, that's 560 days. Can I stand an entry point at 51. Don't worry about what it is. Okay, 51, whatever. Okay. I've got one unit at 51, and it goes from 51 to 198 in 1 month. And then it comes all the way back down to 101. I got in here. No, I got in here. Okay. So I just picked this period. Okay. So this guy's never going to lose money. He's always here. Look at this thing. This is I think it's the 200-day. It's the 50-day close. Okay. And notice anytime it's gotten close to bearing through this 50, let's go change that. Let's put this to a, let's just put another one in there. Happiness is a warm gun, a lot of Bitcoin, and a woman with a short skirt, long legs, and a super long allocation. I think that's a great song by Cake. All right, let's go do 100. Whoop, got to sneeze. All right, we have 100 days at 211, and I'm paying 344. A long time since MSTR has seen the 200-day. That would go back to January 2024. Well, coming up on 2 years. So I'm gonna buy some MicroStrategy here. Yes, it was here. It was here in April. You'd be happy with that purchase, wouldn't you? I would be. I would be very happy with this purchase right here or this purchase right here. And look at that. Whang, bang. I'm most certainly going to buy here. Put an order in at 340. I probably should have, in fact. Damn. I'll get in my. There we go. Recents. Hey, buddy. Gary here. I was just looking at this thing, MSTR 344. If you can pick up, if you can pick it up at 340, let's double it. Let's do 500,000. Let's do, I don't know. Let's better than it. Let's do 1,000 shares. Miss this thing for $4. I think this thing could really do well. Last time I was here, smashed down to 280, and it just exploded right off 280. This is the 50-day moving average. It just keeps punching. This is literally the number. In fact, 340 is the 50-day. Now it's 328. Okay, call me. Or just go ahead and get it. If you can buy it after market, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I think that I don't know why I would really be worried about that. Now, let's see if I can buy it. Now, why did I do this? Okay, I'm sure people are going to ask. I was on a really cool space last night that I co-hosted with Dark Side, and I think everybody in the industry was in this show. It's a couple thousand people. And we talked in depth of this. I personally, well, I was going to kind of maybe defend. I'm not going to do that because you know what? It's an open market, and people. Josh was critical, right? And I think some of the comments, actually, I think a lot of the comments were spot on. Now, I think the concept of, hey, you know, he should only buy 650,000 Bitcoin. I don't know how that has anything to do with the promises strategy's making to its shareholders. I did find the common shares being relegated by the recent 9% deal. I'm having a hard time keeping up with all these guys, but STRC, I think. You know, look, I bought into a public company. I bought common shares. I'm smart enough to know those shares can get relegated. So yes, I have a subordinated fiat position in paper, a derivative of a surrogate of Bitcoin. Okay, like I'm very, very far away from Bitcoin at this point, which we are going to have a debate. In fact, we'll do this Tuesday. Our debate will be, does Bitcoin equal Bitcoin equal Bitcoin? And what is the definition of Bitcoin in the world that not just one or two people are living in, but everyone is living in? Okay, so that's going to be the debate Tuesday. It's going to be, how is Bitcoin defined? And it really came up. This is not a philosophical conversation. This is a very legal, important question related to what is it that when I buy MicroStrategy, clearly that's paper. But what if MicroStrategy buys a futures contract to deliver Bitcoin in the future, but it's a promise on a piece of paper or an electronic document? That is a promise to deliver. It's not the Bitcoin. Now, you cannot buy and custody Bitcoin. That's a futures contract. By definition, it is a futures contract. Nonetheless, I think the point will be made, hey, this is a gold reserve play, a silver squeeze play. A company and its board and shareholders have decided to pursue gather all the nuts up that you possibly can, and those nuts happen to be Bitcoin, which I'm sure if you had 650,000 Bitcoin, you might be a little nutty. It'd make me a little nutty. It'd be awesome. And now we're complaining that, you know, his strategy is different than what he said a year ago. Like, this was his strategy. I knew this was his strategy. And before we all say, oh, you said you would never sell, what he has sold, to the best of my knowledge, and I'm not an expert, I don't see his records, but he did some loss tax harvesting. And every Bitcoiner should be doing a loss tax harvesting when it's, you need to plan for loss tax harvesting. There is so much money to be made in that game. This is how real estate's going to really, really, really benefit. When the real estate gangster crews get together and figure out that the volatility of Bitcoin will allow them, by combining depreciation and amortization assets with the Bitcoin, you show let's say you showed a 20 or 30% loss in your Bitcoin holdings, which is a paper loss. You could smash that loss against any other profits in the real estate play, offsetting tax exposure, and then buy the Bitcoin back, resetting your basis. Okay. I haven't even started this thing. So is a piece of real estate with Bitcoin going to be, what part of that is Bitcoin? And by the way, is that going to be healthy for Bitcoin? Damn right it will be. I will predict that the Bitcoin, the real estate deals in the next 12 months will buy 100,000 Bitcoin. 10,000 a month, for sure. For sure. For how much are we mining? For sure, 100 to 120,000 Bitcoin real estate players will acquire, and that's probably low. That's probably, see, that's 8 billion. That's $100 billion. Is it 100 billion? Yeah, I said 100,000. Yeah, yeah, $100 billion. You know, give or take. So why MicroStrategy won out? One, the 50-day average. If you're a sporadic chart user like myself, make sure you're always on a long time frame. And the reason I say that to you is unless you are a trader that does this every day, I will tell you that you will never make mistakes the way I'm making. You can just see how often I play with charts. So I don't day trade, so I don't need to look at this stuff. So the minimum period I look at is a day. I like weeks. My view is, oh wow, I'm investing for 4 years. There's 52 weeks in a year. I get to measure these 52 weeks. That's 104, 208 weeks that I have to manage. It's not a lot. So am I willing? Let's get back to my exercise here. I think I was here. Wherever, okay? Let's go here. I don't. In fact, let's go where I bought. Okay, I bought right about the midpoint is right here. Okay, 335. Call it 350. I don't really care. Look at it. I'm right at the money. I mean, it's not like I'm making any money. I'm not. Now, has that been exciting? Should I have bought Bitcoin? Yes, undoubtedly. Okay, I've already made that mistake, and I admit to it. But so let's just go to the Bitcoin. Remember, time frame here. I've only been in this trade a year or so. November 24. Okay, November 24. November 24. Okay, it's $93,000 Bitcoin. 93 is gone to 116. I thought it'd be worse than that. But look what happened. See, this is the problem with not being in Bitcoin at the right time. Now, I bought MicroStrategy right here. I'm stupid. I'm buying MicroStrategy here, and I miss Bitcoin move from here. I was in this deep. How did I make that mistake? So I've lost $50,000+ on Bitcoin. 15 Bitcoin. So I need to learn, and I'm getting ready to repeat it. Now that's interesting. What a slave to pain I am, huh? So what are my options? My options are I could go buy into an ETF, I guess, to emulate Bitcoin. I could buy some of the miners. I mean, you want to talk about, see, I could sit here now. Now I get into it. Here's a miner. And of course, I'm going to only show you the ones that, pristine. What did I buy this crap for? Oh, got it in a book somewhere. Nope. You guys are probably getting tired of this anyway. Damn. All right. Sorry for the delay. The delay. Okay, Wolf paid. What did I pay? Wolf, I bought January 24, 207. January 24. Okay. So haven't been in this one very long. Okay. Jan 24. Oops. All right. Jan 24. All right. Right in here. Two. I paid two. See, there I go again, dude. I bought 202, I think I said. Did I say 202? 207. So 207. So I didn't do too bad. See, it's really worth going back over your trades and seeing what you did, because I can forget quite easily. So I picked this up at 220. I think it was January. Okay, and look what I had to deal with. I had to deal with that wasn't a brilliant decision. That wasn't some astronomical great decision. But notice this. Notice this is a very nice looking chart. You know, it never violated me. So I never got worried about this. Well, it violated me a little bit, right? But it was continuing to squeak up. It's done well. Okay. I mean, it's done very well. I could have picked it up a year later, though, 9 months later, at near or in fact, at the same price. Because I wrote all of this down. See, I could have easily, the problem with me selling this here was that it was within 1 year and I didn't want to have a capital gains hit. And I didn't want a capital gains hit in 24. So see how this gets really start to get very interesting, because I'm now because my Bitcoin position, I don't have to consider my tax position. My tax position, in fact, on Bitcoin is driven by my other requirements. And I use Bitcoin as the optionality, the option. And we can talk about that at some point later. So this thing's done well, but it exploded. Let's be honest, okay? It exploded 2 days ago with an announcement from Google of a $1.2 billion credit line deal, some type of 8%, 15% investment. Most certainly big tech's coming to this world. Now Gary has to make a decision. Do I get out of this trade? I've got maybe, look, I'm not bragging. I'm just sharing. I told people if I talk about a position, I'll share it. I'm not gonna, no sense in me being silly with it, making up numbers. I think my original investment was $103,250. And it's worth now $464 a year later. That's a good trade. That's a good trade. Now, most people would look at taking this off the table or reallocating it, or however, I went through a lot of, shall we say, let's remember how much I bought. I bought 100 grand, right? And I bought that in January of 24. Let's go remember what Bitcoin was priced at. This will make me sick. January 24. Oh my God. Oh. See, 2 Bitcoin. What's 2 Bitcoin worth today? That's right, $330,000. $330,000 is 2 Bitcoin. $42,000. That's my, actually, that is, no, that's below my average. Okay. So I had 100 grand. I put it into Wolf. You want to know a really sad story? I did this 4 times with the miners. all in this same time period. So I literally took a million, what a idiot. I took original 300, a million, total cost, 2, 1, 1, 3. Wow, Gary, dude. 1, 3. 1.4 million. I could have bought back here 42. Could have bought 25 Bitcoin, right? Wow. And 25 Bitcoin today for that $1 million is worth about 2.6 mil. Guys, this is 1 year of missing. Okay. This is the problem with being outside of Bitcoin. Okay. I know guys right now, they don't even understand. Oh my God, they've been just absolutely lost the biggest move of this year or a chunk. Okay. This has been a good move. Okay. I missed this. Okay. Like this is 67. I also missed it early. I mean, by missed it, I mean, my money was deployed in legacy assets here, right there. And it stayed deployed right there. Okay. And this is $39,000, $42,000. This is $73,000. Okay. So I just said that I invested 1.6 million into miners. Let's just do the damn exercise. I'll see how much pain this is. I did all of this in January of 24. Okay. So right around here. Okay. I'm going to give it $50,000. That's my, okay. I could have bought Bitcoin for 50 G's, 32 Bitcoin. 32 Bitcoin times 116, 3.7 million. 3.7 million, okay? And my return on these miners is 301.6, 2.5 to 3.7 million. I left $1.5 million on the table. It's $100,000 a month. Ding dong. Okay, so you get the point. You get the point. So a whole nother discussion, right? Like, hey, what do I do with this position? Should I get out of this position? How do I do I ride my legacy, the miners a little bit longer? It's quite confusing. This is why I say not only is it confusing, but I have lost a lot of money, $1.5 million out of $100 million portfolio. Let's just pretend like that's what it is. That is significant. Okay. You can't afford to lose $1.5 million opportunity. I mean, the spread between what looked like a great trade on some of these miners, I mean, I'm up probably 25% net, and this thing just clocked it. Are you getting the message? Okay. Now, just this exercise alone, what it's taught me is I really should do a fairly deep analysis on what, like I probably need to get my head out of my ass and go look at what the heck I need to do with this position. I'm sitting here thinking about adding to MicroStrategy, and that has not worked. I'm probably still going to do it, but not sure it makes it right. I just think it's going to be, man. I think you're looking at one of the greatest companies in the history of mankind. You know, for me, I can't not. Now, you should be saying, hey, Gary, you're already betting on this trade. You're betting on Bitcoin. That's all right. That's all correct. You guys tell me what you think, okay? And before I leave you, Should have done this live. This would have been fun. Have a bunch of people show up. Okay. I'm not doing that one. Here's a strategic one. Now, maybe I should. Like, it doesn't like 31. And I'm able to buy it below the 50 and the 100-day, right? Deep. I can't remember how much Bitcoin they have, but their NAV is almost, I think their NAV is negative. One of them's negative. I mean, that's frightening. Did you guys know that Brad Garlinghouse has a net worth of at least 10 bill? I had no idea. I would have given him a little bit more respect. It's amazing, though, huh? Well, of course he does. He sold $200 million worth of XRP the other day. Let's see here now. What was I thinking about? I was thinking history. That's right. MNAV strategic. Yeah, I'll pull that up here in a second. But we got meta plan, and just this from memory. I just want to show you one thing. See this? In fact, if you just look over here, notice the miners. The miners are fighting every day since this Wolf announcement. Fighting every day against Bitcoin's weakness. This is a big, big change, okay? Big change. It most certainly got led by this. And you can't say that about every miner, but very interesting. I think it's interesting. To me, it's a good sign. This is so weak, though. A good sign, and almost all of them are up today again. BM and R. Okay, he's up 5%. I mean, look at this thing. Okay, this is the problem with these strategic reserves. I mean, look, this is a tremendous opportunity that I missed. And nobody called me on this deal. I don't know why you guys, I don't think the VC guys like me or something, because I don't get a bunch of phone calls on these deals. Guess I'm not doing they don't like it if I don't pay the 2 and 20. It's okay. Okay. I mean, look at this, man. I mean, if he could have told me about this anytime. Not really. He could anyway. $2.50. This was $2.50 3 weeks ago. June. Okay. I think he launched. I mean, the chart's so crazy. You can't even get rid of all these bloody things here. Oh, I'm such an amateur. Okay, so you get my point, guys? I think it's just the point. Point is, I can chase redheads at 2 o'clock in the morning. I can probably have an awesome one-night stand, but it's probably not going to be a very healthy relationship. I'm probably going to get an STD. I'm probably going to even have some regret and headaches. And I'm going to end up outperforming something if I would have just dedicated it to Bitcoin. This has cost me $1.5 million. If you don't think that's real money, this is like, you'll look at my life and go, wow, he's got it all sorted out. Nobody has it all sorted out. Okay. This is a silly mistake I've made. Chasing alpha, chasing the dragon, listening to other people. And I knew better than this farming business. Just look, I'm not saying that they're going to fail. I can buy Bitcoin. Like, I can buy Bitcoin cheaper than I can the miners. I can buy Bitcoin cheaper than the miners can make Bitcoin, for the most part, sustainably, successfully. Okay, don't tell me that you're making money today. I care about how much money have you made in the last 8 years? Zero, net. And how much money are you going to make tomorrow. I don't think you're ever going to make money. Farmers usually don't make money. They acquire more land and goodies and tractors and trailers and those things. Guess what they do? They all require an insurance contract and they rust. Okay, guys. Hell, you haven't even looked at my face today. I am back. Hope that wasn't too boring. If you guys like this kind of stuff, just me popping on, shooting the shit, let me know. Sometimes I feel like I've got to have this magic topic. This is a 46-minute recording. Probably too long, probably boring. See you later. Be nice to somebody, okay?